Well, welcome aboard, folks, tonight for the Sigma Cup Series from Talladega for the Dusty Shangle Memorial 500. 500 miles under the lights here at Talladega. We got a full field, 46 cars, 13 of which made it through the sprint qualifier here today. And so 188 laps the distance. It's going to be a wild card race, as these super speedway races always tend to be. But that only opens up the window for some more surprise winners this season on a year where we've had 15 different winners in the first 14 different winners in the first 16 races. And of course, starting on the front row here today, two drivers not yet winning in the season. Jimmy Logano, second, and Tosh Wright with a pole position. Pole position, it's only been won once here from pole in the Talladega race. We used to run a pair of Talladega races at one point, and we've kind of slimmed it down to one apiece each year. But I've got some data that we can reference as we go through tonight on Talladega results over the years. Next row back, you've got Luis Rodriguez and Trevor Walker. Braden Varga and Tyler Shangle with Liz Shangle, Jacob Shangle, Kara Shangle. It's kind of weird how it's all splotched out there. Weird starting order. I'm just going to go ahead and get the race rolling because it's weird how there's some breaks in the lineup there. That's not normal, typically. Qualifying, we did have 46 cars qualify, so I guess that is just kind of normal. It's different. They'll get lined up just as normal. There is a couple drivers that have started from dead last to win this thing, so don't even count out the likes of Tyler Aspinall and Chase Kovacic, who could somehow manage to shock the field here tonight. It's happened before. Alrighty, the pace car pulls off. 188 laps of distance. It's going to get good here in Talladega tonight. Going back to that pole position winner, the only time someone has won from pole position was back in 2020 when that was Fernando Alonso. It's kind of interesting how Fernando Alonso's name has come up a couple times here in the last couple weeks. His one race win at Evergreen definitely kind of stunted the Washington winners at Evergreen Speedway. And so, yeah, Talladega one-off win from Fernando Alonso. It's a track that has seen only a couple repeat winners. 3 drivers, actually, in fact, have won twice here at Talladega. The names are Jacob Shangle, Jun Sanu, and Alan Taylor. Of those active drivers, Alan Taylor and Jacob Shangle. Alan not in the field here tonight, but still technically active, not fully retired from Sigma racing quite yet. And give me a brief moment here to get the banners fixed. Seems like every time we start up, we got to reset them. There we go. Well, fast lap is not going to be a very big key here today because typically if you're in the draft, you've got the speed, you've got the ability to fight for the win here tonight. 46 cars, all of which have a very valid shot. One thing is you're going to want to avoid the big one here tonight. You don't want to get wound up in a wreck, not of your making. You definitely don't want to bring out the big one either. But at the moment, that's going to be Tyler Shangle taking the top spot. It's been a while since we've seen Tyler Shangle in victory lane. He is kind of had a dry spell here, the winningest driver in Sigma Cup history. And So it's a matter of time before he finds his way back to victory lane, but it's definitely very peculiar and unusual to not see that 7 machine get to victory lane yet this year. Lap leaders here at Talladega. Tyler Shangle, definitely one of those drivers that's led a lot of laps here at Talladega. Lap led counter, you're looking at the most laps led here in our 20 races hosted at Talladega. Jacob Shangle at 201 laps. Tyler Shangle on the other side has 114 laps led here. None of your active drivers really have much experience here at Talladega, so there's a lot of new blood in the field here. A lot of the veteran, the old guard is still there, but not as active as they once were. So definitely kind of a change of the guard here. 2025 last year and 2026 this year really marks a big change in the whole direction of Sigma Racing. Very much in the Cup Series. So now it swaps around. We've got a new leader. That is Tom Cording in the 30 with the 39 of Wyatt Wilkinson right behind him. Well, in case you are new to Sigma Cup Racing, the Super Speedway races are run a little bit differently. We don't do stage breaks like NASCAR does, but we do, however, do competition cautions after pit stops. The AI in NR2003 is very choppy, very brain dead when it comes to making pit call strategies. So we throw a comp caution once all the cars cycle around during their pit stop to get it all stacked back up once again. And we got the 16 machine of Monty Shangle taking the top spot. He's going to lead a lap here tonight. It's a track very much defined by lead changes. Not very often do you see anyone get up front and dominate here. The draft is very, very touchy. You get up there, and then you have someone behind you with more speed, full steam ahead. They get around you, and you get shuffled back to the back again. So, conveyor belt racing. Some folks don't exactly like tuning into that, but it is what it is. It's one of the few gripes on NR 2003 is that their super speedway package is not very realistic. Well, already 6 laps in. Chase Kovacic, who was dead last on the field here tonight, fastest lap at a 46.518. They're blistering some quick laps around here at Talladega. 3 abreast all the way through the field. 2 wide up at the front as you now have another new leader. That looks like Brandon Butler II, who would be looking for win number 2 on the season himself. His teammate in the 43 machine of Tatenberger took home the first ever points-paying race win from Moses Lake Motorplex last week. That was a big statement race to help develop who may very well be the #1 top dog here this year. Another driver that is a shocker, is winless still this season, is Al Bunch in the 81. has not been a lack for trying. Oh, and we got the big one in the background. That's going to collect quite a few cars in the back of the field. If you were towards the front half, you're going to be able to avoid that. But it looks like we're going to be racing back to the start-finish line here, and we will delve deeper into the first caution of the night here at lap number 9. Amazingly, the 54 of Chase Kovacic comes from dead last in the field up to the lead there right before that caution happened. Ooh, Braden Varga, your defending race winner from Talladega, out. And the game crashes. I knew it was going to crash too. I had a feeling. Okay, so we'll try again here. It's going to be a late night. I feel like I'm kind of pressing a vein here with the 46 car fields, giving it trouble. And we'll try one more time with 46 and hope to hell that it doesn't give us any trouble here.
Touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
And just like that, I got to go in and... It's like there's 3 different instances of the game. Here, it's actually reset. It's weird how it does that. It's like I have 3 separate setups for whenever the lap counter gets all foobar. I'm amazed that someone hasn't figured out a way to recreate this game for a modern engine, a modern remake. Even with all the AI stuff that's out there today, someone could even tell an AI bot to remake the entire game from scratch with modern graphics, I wonder. But anyways, they don't want to remake a game that no one would buy a yearly release. That's why they won't remake this game, is because you would buy one and you're done. And they don't want that. The video game industry wants you to subscribe to their new game every year. So they have to make it just, just good enough that you'll buy it each year, but, not so good that you would ever have to buy another one again, which is ridiculous. But that's a tangent on for another day. So the reset here tonight, you got Craig the Void, your race leader. Like I was saying, 3 different instances. I have to swap around and find the one that works right. A little bit different restart here as we're rolling through lap 1. Braden Varga, who was in the wreck, surprisingly enough, gets the big break here as he's actually revived from the dead here on the next restart of it. So up to the lead, Braden Varga leads the lap there. As I was mentioning, your defending race winner here from Talladega. He won it last year right up towards the end of the championship push. He needed a win at Talladega, and that's what got him to fight for a championship at Indianapolis. This win at Talladega last year definitely catapulted him into the conversation, whereas he may not have been a valid, candidate for the championship battle. But it's a little different this year. Talladega falls around the quarter mark of the season rather than the tail end of the season. Somewhat of a bounce back to older years where we used to run this race kind of mid-April, early May. A lot less riding on the line, obviously, too, because you don't have a championship that close after Talladega to be decided. So this getting these super speedway races kind of staggered a little bit more fairly across the schedule was one of the big keys this year when we were planning on making all the adjustments for the new schedule. With Talladega here tonight, you'll have Sonoma next week. We'll go to the road course, and then it will be another street. It'll be a street circuit, however. New York Grand Prix on the streets of New York, followed by Iowa, which is always a fun little short track. Then it's Kansas and the Coke 600. So we've got kind of a nice, neat little 5-race stretch here before the next crown jewel of the season. We just knocked off crown jewel number 2 with Moses Lake Motorplex. Race winner was Taden Berggren. And we're going to be keeping an eye on those crown jewel winners this year, as they are kind of the higher, prestige racing events that we go and run. So Daytona was won by Cooper Dwight. That was our crown jewel number 1. Moses Lake Motorplex with Taden Berggren really starting to establish his name and his presence in the grand scheme of things here for the championship. So we'll see who has what it takes to conquer the Coke 600 next month. And then the following crown jewel event will be the 777 Annual, which we go to Vegas every year for that event. Falls on July 7th, no matter what day of the week it is. Sometimes we're racing on Saturdays, sometimes we're racing on Wednesdays. This year we're going to be running it on a Tuesday, July 7th. So circle your calendars. Not too hard to forget that one, because when you're in Las Vegas, you want to see that 777. You want to see 7-7. We unfortunately never got to make it happen on July 7th of 2007. But we have since then hit every other 7 of 17. And we'll be working on 7-7 of 27 next year, which will be a kind of a neat, true 777 annual. Crown Jewel number 5 comes a little bit later. That'll be come Labor Day week, where we'll hit the Southern 500 in Darlington. So one of the trends you're starting to notice there is our Crown Jewel events are kind of structured after the big, NASCAR Crown Jewel events. We got the Daytona 500, we got the Coke 600, and the Southern 500. Those are the 3 kind of the NASCAR marquee events. But then we've got our own 3 true Crown Jewel events, which just so happens to be this year the first ever Moses Lake Motorplex Sigma Super 337, which was last week. The 777 Annual, which they do not do that, obviously, in NASCAR. And the Music Fest Grand Prix, which will be Crown Jewel number 6 at the end of the year, October, right around Halloween this year. So I wonder if we're going to be doing Halloween-esque Music Fest paint schemes for 2026 season 16. Well, the restart, 8 laps in, just like we were in the last one, and no wrecks yet. They're very clean, calm, and calculated at the moment. Seems like the initial game crash happened right when we tried to skim through the field. That's happened to me before, and I still, like I've said, I've never figured out the solution to everything. If I did, we wouldn't have to be sitting here explaining it. So it's been kind of nice though, seeing all the new mods and whatnot that's been getting dreamed up. I saw someone was trying to make a modification to the save editor so you can actually do a 46 car field like this and adjust their qualifying positions. That could be kind of fun for an all-star-esque event where you actually can manipulate and restructure where they start in the field versus what the game actually sets them up as a qualifying order. I also saw there was some people that were trying to make an in-race editor where you could actually edit the aggression of the AI. Still not sure the extents of how that would work, but it's kind of interesting that there's someone out there working on stuff like that. A lot of the NASCAR Racing 2003 community still very much alive. Kind of makes me wonder if a lot of the folks are utilizing stuff like ChatGPT AI to help, you know, form algorithms and scripts and programs to actually make those things happen. It's kind of wild that all of a sudden the community's found a new, you know, breath of fresh air in the midst of this AI heavy environment that we live in. But they're still making, you know, improvements to a game that's 23 years old, which is beyond, it's just beyond grasp of, you know, it's the imagination is crazy. If you said there was a game that still existed 23 years later, it was probably not in this manner. So it's a pretty steady conveyor belt run right now. We can look and see how many drivers have led a lap here tonight. Brandon Butler actually up front for 2 laps now. He's held the lead, maybe trying to prove that you can do it here at Talladega and have some dominant runs. Jimmy Logano with 2 laps led, Taden Bergeron with a lap led, Chris Harvey, or no, Cooper Dwight, Tom Cording, Finlay Herwig and Braden Varga all with some laps led here today. 3 wide at the lead. No, they're wrecking. Big wreck in the background there. I'm going to try to cheat this a little bit instead of rewinding. Let's see if I can catch the wreck replay here real quick. If we go back, let's rewind instead of hitting the lap button. Seems like the last time I hit the lap button was where it went wrong. So, right here, 4 wide, obviously always a good chance that something's going to go wrong at Talladega when you're 4 wide. Jimmy Logano and John Hagan. Whoa, Hagan goes for a flipper there. And it crashed again. So, the last time that we've had this problem, I had to remove a driver from the field. 46 cars seems to be a bit much at some of these tracks, so we'll go ahead and remove 1 car, and that would have been the last driver that failed to, that would have, you know, failed to make the field had it been 45 instead. And so we'll go ahead and drop out the 54 car of Chase Kovacic here. Trial and error, folks. Trial and error. I am still learning, and I feel like everything pretty much was squared away here with the addition of the extra pit stalls. But I found out this at Daytona earlier this year that we could only do 45 as well, because apparently just the extra couple cars makes that big of a difference. It's weird. Well, 3rd time's the charm. We'll try it again here. And I'm sorry, I mean, there's not much else I can do about it. Well, on the 3rd reset, it looks like the Burnt Money Racing teammates of Taden Bergeron and Brandon Butler II get to set the field for the start here. Fingers crossed, folks, on the other sides of your screens that we can get started and get rolling here tonight. It seems like the game crashes when the AI are trying to figure out to pit. So hopefully with 45 cars, 1 less stall, having to actually materialize on the infield may actually fix our problems, hopefully. So 188 laps, it's going to feel like a marathon if we can even get to 10 laps again here. The good part is that we've been able to run cleanly up until the point where the car's wrecked. Okay. And that just continues to add more to the whole wild card factor that is Talladega. The fact that the game, we get the big ones here at Talladega, but we also get the crash to desktop big wrecks as well. So it definitely sucks because you would love for the factor of it to just go flawless without the game decidingly to crash as it does. Because then it kind of makes those other two starts feel null and void, even though they should have been official and, part of the story. But it's always hard to try and justify what is the meaning of a full-blown restart here in Sigma Racing. Oh, they're going 4 wide already on lap number 2. 43 stuck on the high side here. Trouble is a-brewing as that 43 from the front row starting position, he's dropping backwards like a rock. 4 wide still. He might be able to find an opening here, but it's looking pretty bleak. Stay out of trouble. Even 4 wide, 22 in the 19. He's got Trevor Walker and Chris Harvey there. Luckily, they all let off and let go. 43 needs to find that opening on the inside and quick. 6 is dead last on the field there. Jimmy Logano leads the way, but here comes the 69 of Lynn Farrell. So if anyone's just now tuning in, yes, the game has crashed twice and we had to restart it. Third time the charm. I don't want to jinx it, but third time attempt here. Worst case scenario. Hopefully we don't have to go worst case scenario. But anyways. And that's the problem, is it's not a proven science. I mean, I'm thinking that it's causing this problem, but I might not have any idea at all what's causing the problem. Used to where I had these problems that I have to restart the whole computer, but I figured out that you can just reset the game a couple times and then it'll let you go back through without crashing. If the cars don't crash whatsoever here at Talladega and they just run 188 laps without a cause for caution and the game never crashes, that would be a weird solution, but you're not going to get out of Talladega without a wreck. It's almost unavoidable. There's going to be a wreck. They're already 4 wide again here on lap 5. This looks to be the most disjointed start that we've seen here tonight because so many of them are spreading out 4 wide. They're already deep 3 wide and 2 wide at the front as well. Looks like they might settle in and get it figured out there at the back half of the field. Al Bunch coming from dead last, trying to work his way up to the front. His teammate there, team owner, Kellen Relic on the high side right around him. And Preston Kundo in the 77 machine leads the way as he's got the 14 of Kevin Xavier right behind him. Daniel Pauls Jr. made the field through the sprint qualifier. Definitely kind of a surprise rider, but it always seems like Daniel Pauls Jr. has more experience at these super speedways. Consider him maybe like an Austin Hill, where it just shows up, Talladega, Daytona, wherever those super speedway races are, and he has a little bit extra in the tank than most. Daniel Pauls has failed to qualify for nearly 90% of the races this year. The 10% that he has qualified for, though, are these wild card super speedway races. So the great equalizer, definitely. You don't have to have the best equipment to win here at Talladega tonight. That's how Eli the Wolf got away with winning earlier this year at Armory Digital Super Speedway, and has been failing to actually figure it out anywhere else that we run here this year. So it looks like Jimmy Logano involved in a wreck again. So the common consensus here is Jimmy Logano keeps getting involved in these wrecks. Oh man, yeah, hard. Looks like 4 cars involved there. Testing this. I'm going to stress test the game. If it crashes on me again, it's not because of 46 cars this time. I want to see the in-car cam on Chad Hertenstein there. He might have had a Code Brown watching from that. Definitely a Code Brown moment, but it looks like he's able to drive through it without getting much damage there. Wow, that's impressive. So, first caution of the night for about a 4 or 5 car wreck, looks like. Jimmy Logano involved, Alex Crowther, Louis Trost, and Eli the Wolf. And yeah, so right there I took away 1 extra car. It seems like 46 cars is a bit of a curse when it comes to these super speedway races. And I'd be more than willing to make the the max, the limit, a 45 car field if that's all it takes. 46 cars seem to be the cause of some of these game crashes. So it may not be scientific, but I'm definitely doing science experiments whenever we have problems with this game, and we're solving some things are being solved here. Not all of them. Obviously, I can't solve all of the NASCAR Racing 2003 problems, but we've got a log jam on pit road, though. That's unusual. They merged into each other, it looked like. The 39 of Wilkinson and the 50 of Tom Cording. How in the world did that happen? Everyone else made it through pit road, though. Maybe just a strange mechanical failure by the 39. We're definitely we're pushing some more boundaries here. I'm willing to see exactly what's going on, but wow, what in the world? They just stacked up. We've got, pit road disabled so that contact with the Better Cautions mod. Weird. And it looks like they're going to stay on the lead lap too, so at least avoid losing a complete lap there. Retirements, the 64 of Sebastian Torres retired. I wonder what happened to Sebastian there. Oh, he was in that wreck, actually. I didn't realize 64 came through. Just a clip there. That was all it took, and his car was toast. That didn't look like much at all. Apparently it was enough. Retired from dead last on field. The 29 of Lewis Trost also retired. And it looks like the 94 of Eli the Wolf is going to try to continue here. That car looks mangled to high hell. So we'll have to keep an eye on the slow traffic and disqualify them if they do not meet adequate race pace here today. Well, third time's a charm, folks. It looks like we're going to have a race on our hands finally after it decided to give us troubles there for the first two starts. If you're just now tuning in, you haven't missed a whole lot. You've just missed, well, technically 3 crashes, 2 of which caused the game to crash. And this one, a 4 or 5 car wreck that is going to bring us back to green here shortly, with only 2 retirements confirmed at the moment. Your leaders, as it sits right now, Gannon Bird is your leader because we're under caution. He's gaining some extra laps of lead. And then Tyler Shangle with 1 lap lead, as well as Finley Herwig. Preston Kundo with 2 laps lead. Cooper Dwight with a lap lead. Not very many laps have been contested yet, so. Lights are off on the pace car. We're going to get back green here shortly. Fastest lap in the race belongs to Al Bunch, who's going to have to climb his way through the field here tonight. He's already starting to work his way up there, but starting near the very back, he's got his long night ahead, but you can win from the back here, Talladega. That's the good thing. Got Tasha Wright now up to second, Tyler Shangle in third. Gannon Bird there leads with Nate Newman and even Chris Harvey, your top 5. First wreck of the night. We'll have to keep an eye on some slow traffic here as the laps start to roll up again. We're back and rolling. It is a Cadillac front row. Cadillac front 3 is even Nate Newman there run the Cadillac. Tosh Wright to the top spot, credited with the lap lead there. We're going to be very, very watching of those slow cars. We do not want any trouble here tonight. Yeah, unfortunately, he's making another trip. We're going to go ahead and DQ the number 94. Enough damage from that wreck makes it so that his car just ain't going to be right all night. We will see if we even have to exercise our competition cautions here tonight. If we just have a bunch of kind of spread out miniature wrecks, might have our comp cautions kind of decided by the racing action here. Kellen Relic jumping to the top spot. He's going to have to defend now on Finley Herwig. Takes it low there. Kellen's going to block, and then kind of a failed block there. The 68 ran right in there. Kellen, oofty, I think led that lap by the slimmest of margins. Yes, he did. Finley, though, takes over, moving up there to take the lead away. And now the 12 of Carson Bowers also joining the front row there. Cooper Dwight, Carson Bowers' teammate, race winner at Daytona earlier this year, those two cars now working their way to the front, fighting for the lead. Yeah, Jimmy Logano, I'm sorry, dude, but disqualification for the number 28, not meeting race pace here today. Fireball Robert, we'll give him the, couple lap benefit of the doubt. We still got 40 cars on the lead lap here in the lead group, the lead draft, which is an absolute recipe for disaster, the way things typically go here. There really is no chance to just kind of collect your thoughts and really gather yourself here at Talladega. It's pretty much all or nothing. So if you're in the lead 40, yeah, that's great and all, but it also means you're in a hornet's nest, which could be a wreck waiting to happen around every corner. Even at the front of the field here, 3 wide for the lead. That's the number 60 machine of Jacob Schenkel jumping to the top, flying the Greg Biffle tribute colors out there. He's going to have the lap lead there. Man, it would be awesome to see a photo finish here at Talladega. We got some great passes being made already in the early laps here tonight, right at the start-finish line. So there's high potential for it to happen. Oh, and they're wrecking again in the background. Might be another pretty lengthy wreck this time. The first one was a 4-car wreck, but this might have been a little bit bigger than that. Pace cars pulling on. Ooh, 99 of Daniel Paulus Jr. gets, looks like the worst of it there. So pardon my rewinding instead of just going back a lap. It looks kind of hokey, but oh, John Hagan goes for a flip again. It's consistent. The wrecks that we're seeing here tonight, kind of the same style of wrecks for a couple drivers. John Hagan went for a flip on that one. Track actually has trash camera angles, amazingly enough. Cannot get a good camera angle whatsoever. Yeah, John Hagan gets turned in the outside wall there. I think Chris Harvey and him, Chris Harvey and him connect. 3 wide in the middle there. Harvey really didn't need to hold him down that tight, but just so happened to do that. And then piling in, everyone else really with nowhere to go. Tyler Landa gets into it, the 99 of Daniel Paulus. Luis Rodriguez in the 55. Kellen Relic gets rammed. Even the 3 of Ralph Oberstadt gets some damage there at the tail end of it all. 59 of Gannon Bird was up front leading at one point. It just happens so quickly there that there's not really much you can do. Got to give credit to Al Bunch. Watch this move by him. We're going to hop in the cockpit cam again. Wow. Red Sea parted there. And Al Bunch was able to drive right through it. Sometimes you just got to be lucky. And that was a lucky break for sure. And we're going to see a big group of them retired after that one. So your retirement's now after the fact. Oofty, yeah. The 99 of Daniel Pauls Jr. is retired, 41st. John Hagan retired, 40th. Kellen Relic, 39th, out of the race. Chris Harvey, out of the race in 38th. And then Luis Rodriguez, 37th, retired from the race. Tyler Landa out in 36th, and the 20 of Nate Newman retired from the race as well. Figure out what happened to Nate Newman there. I didn't see him really in the wreck. Maybe he was. Something after the fact. That happens here at Talladega too. We've had that problem year in, year out. So kind of the self-cleaning track sometimes. At least we've been able to make it 20 laps before knocking out as many cars as we have. And even with damage, the cars can still fight for the win here. So it's not not an end-all by any means. We've seen some rear-end damage on cars that can still run with the lead pack and fight for the win. But the attrition bug is already kicking in here. It's 20 laps in, 168 laps to go. We've already knocked out about 14, or rather 10 cars. Lights are going to go off on the pace car. They'll go one more lap before going green again. Double it up on the backstretch. And I think I tried fixing that out of this track a couple times, and it's not easy to fix for whatever reason. I've tried to manipulate the pace. Caution pace is 95 miles an hour, which is... it's actually hauling the mail for a pace lap around any track. 95 when you got pit road at about, I think, 65. And so all of those factors kind of kick in. It's just a lot of cars in a very small track. It might actually go taking the extra dive into editing the track line files, which is a chore and a half. But here we go, getting back to green here tonight. And leading them back to the restart, it's last week's winner, Tayden Berggren, followed by Nelson Chacon on the inside there. You got Wyatt Wilkinson on the high side with Liz Shangle and even the teammate to Tayden, the 42 of Brandon Butler II. So the damaged car policy is going to be enforced a little stricter here because we had plenty of cars involved in that wreck. A little bit damage goes a long way here at Talladega. Wyatt Wilkinson leads. Not for long though, as the 43 of Tayden looking to get around him here. Good push with the Chevy Brigade on the inside. Nelson Chacon for Calvin Steele Racing. Burt Money Racing, your leader and your third place driver there. Nelson Chacon leads the lap. Good restart for the 37 car. Meanwhile, your other cars that ended up in the fender bender at the back looking to be in a bit of trouble here as they've lost the lead draft. We had about a 40-car draft. Now it's looking like we have more about 28. We'll give them laps. Obviously, they're running about 4 seconds slower, so if you think about it, should be able to survive for about 20 laps. Yeah, maybe more like 15 laps. So we'll check back at about lap 34. Of course, they could be saved by the wrecks here tonight. That's the one window that we're gonna, that's the safety window to a degree. If you're not meeting the race draft, the minimum race pace, you'll get the benefit of, the window until you're about to go a lap down. And in that window, you might get some more wrecks. You might be able to gain some more spots. But it's definitely, it's kind of touch and go for the most part. Tyler Shangle to the top spot. He's got Carson Bowers and Chad Hertenstein on the inside there behind him. Jonah Burridge in that purple machine just a little further back. And Kevin Xavier in the 14 right there up at the front of the field. You got the 85, Brian DeBlanc, 4 wide in the middle there. On the outside, it's the 42 of Brandon Butler, the second 4 wide with his team owner on the inside there. Tyler Shangle leads the way, and Chad Hertenstein going to try and take the lead away from him. Side by side, they come drag racing down the front stretch. Tyler leads that lap, but Chad has the advantage now on the inside. 21 machine moving to the lead, looking to lead his first laps here tonight. Tasha's running about 5 seconds off the pace. Oofty. See, I wish there was more gadgets with NASCAR Racing 2003 so I could see a more live telemetry, if I could like pick one car to keep my eyes on their Delta and whatnot. Because it'd be awesome if I can keep an eye on the Delta of this 90 car while the leaders are trying to run her down. That's about 4 cars on a group of their own. Bradley Ream, no stranger to success at the super speedways. We've seen him win at Daytona. We've seen him win at others. So he could be a good candidate for a race win here tonight. Liz Shangle making an unscheduled pit stop here. That's weird. Fuel system leak on the number 50 machine. Oofty. That is not ideal. Not good at all. She was able to pull off without making a wreck there in the process. Meanwhile, Craig the Void takes the top spot here. Well, I am sorry on the 90 of Tasha, but now that we've got some green flag laps running, we might have to disqualify the 90 for not meeting race pace. Even if we had a wreck here, she could gain a couple spots, but she doesn't have a car healthy enough to fight for the win here today, so tough break for Tasha. Not much else she could have done differently here today. Liz Shangle rejoins the racetrack. This is a different scenario because she came down to get some repairs made. We'll let them merge together and see how they work here. Likely not going to be a wreck because once she gets back with the draft, she can get back into it, but it's going to bunch things up very much. They're going to go around her. She's going to sort herself in there at the lead, though. That's good. Doesn't lose too much ground. She's going to be fighting to stay on the 1 lap down rather than 2 laps down. They're bunched up, though, behind her, and they're going to... They're wrecking. Teammates are wrecking. Oh, whoa, whoa. Big one there. Ouch, man. Tough break. It's doing some strange things here tonight. Talladega, a little bit more scary than normal when we've got cars that are actually, like, melding. Oh, Craig the Void was involved in the wreck there on lap 31. Yeah, so that was Kevin Xavier and Chaz Chadwick. Chaz Chadwick, the team owner. Ah, man, and just nowhere for Craig the Void to go. Kevin Xavier and Chaz's car merged together like a transformer. After they made contact there, it was kind of a bump and pass. So yeah, they get into each other here, and the 18 finds some kind of glitch, just connects right there into the 14. Al Bunch lucky again to minimize the damage he got there. It's looking like about a 5-car wreck. Taden Bergeron involved in it. Craig the Void gets in it. And Tyler Shangle with some significant damage as well. Some weird, wild, wacky wrecks already here tonight. And I'm sure there's more to come. We still got a lot of cars left running, even with all this chaos that's unfolded so far. More than likely, Chaz Chadwick and Kevin Xavier out of the race after that. Craig the Void as well, more than likely retired. Yep, it shows Craig the Void retired. We'll go ahead and give the wave around to Liz Shangle, so she's only got 1 lap down. Looks like they got that fuel system figured out on the 50 machine. Brandon Butler looking to avenge his teammate who was involved in that wreck here. Reclaims the lead here tonight after pit stops. Carson Bowers in second, followed by Preston Kundo in third. Kara Shangle in fourth. Could be a good night for Kara, surviving all the chaos and carnage so far, up in the top 5 with Jacob Shangle right behind her. Cooper Dwight wants to try and make it back-to-back on super speedway races. The Daytona winner, last race we had out on a super speedway like this one. Wyatt Wilkinson in 7th. Nelson Chacon. Jonah Burridge, and wow, Trevor Walker top 10. Alex Crowther, A5's trying to get back to his spot here. Well, it's going to be another lap under caution here. Let us skim through the field under caution and get an idea of where everyone's at, how everything's going. Nelson Chacon, this could be a big night for him. It's been a tough 2026 so far. Let's do a little bit of analysis on the 37 machine here. Nelson Chacon has only been able to qualify for 4 races this season. He sits currently 53rd in the points out of 59 cars that have gained points in the Cup Series this year. His 4 finishes have been a 44th at Phoenix International Raceway, a 42nd at Texas Motor Speedway, a 43rd at 8 Bowl Super Speedway, and then North Wilkesboro was kind of a shining point in the season so far, where he was able to bring it home 28th. He has not led a lap yet this season, but I think he's already changed that here tonight. Nelson Chacon has led 1 lap here at Talladega. So Talladega does not discriminate. You are able to get a lap led pretty easily here. But don't discredit that either, because laps led, those are bonus points that you can start racking up no matter what. Jonah Burridge as well, an impressive run here so far. He's 49th in the points. He's only made 1 start this year. He was able to qualify for Armory Digital Super Speedway, where he finished 7th after qualifying 44th. Yeah, Brian DeBlanc, who was up there in the title hunt last year, he's 32nd in the points this year. He's been able to make every start because he is a chartered driver, so 15 of 15 races started. His best finish this year has been a 4th at Phoenix. Everything else has been kind of hit or miss for the 85 team. So the lights should be off on the pace car. We're going to get back and rolling here. Kind of did a through the top 10 analysis on a couple drivers, getting you some more details on their season so far. The big storyline is definitely that Talladega can be the game changer. That would be a chance for someone that doesn't often fight for wins to get a win. And maybe for a driver that's been having a rough spell to revive his, revive the season for you. Definitely a lot of different factors here at Talladega. Well, we're back and rolling. We are down to 30 cars left racing. After that, the retirement of Craig the Void, Chaz Chadwick, and Kevin Xavier leaves us with 30 cars left running. Looks like maybe about 28 of them all in the lead draft still. Well, it looks like we kind of have 2 distinct groups now, believe it or not. These cars, they're not too far off the pace, but they're definitely the battered and bruised. So now we're down to a 21 car lead draft at the moment, which is still a pretty healthy field given, the distance of the race and how far we've already made it here tonight through to lap 38. So far, it looks like the Shangles are all still alive, although Tyler Shangle a little bit rough for the wear. Liz Shangle still trapped 1 lap down. But Kara Shangle up there to 3rd. Jacob in the picture as well. And how fitting would it be on race number 16 if the 16 machine found its way to victory lane? Yet again, I'm not trying to jinx anything. As soon as I open my mouth, that's when jinxes start unfolding here. So hopefully the 16 machine does not get involved in a big one here tonight. Kara Shangle, though, takes the lead with Al Bunch giving her a good push. Braden Varga in 3rd there. Varga goes low. Al Bunch gets cut off there, and Kara Shangle's going to lead a lap here at lap 41. Parity has been the name of the game this year, and of our 8 manufacturers in the field, 6 of them have gone to victory lane. The only 2 manufacturers not yet to hit victory lane this season are Toyota, which in its own is a pretty big surprise because Toyota's usually up there fighting for wins every year. And Subaru, which there's only a 1-car outfit for Subaru, but still they count as the 8th manufacturer. And it doesn't look, yeah, the 27 did not make the field here tonight, so Adam Starr, unfortunately, with his Subaru not here, fight for a win for Subaru to add to that manufacturer pool. I'm impressed here with Finlay Herwig. Even with the damage on that car, he's still holding in there solidly with the front group. Secondary group, they're about 7 seconds back. But if they can work together, they can stay on the lead lap even through a green flag cycle here if they're lucky. For Rich Roy, though, that's not looking very promising as he's the furthest off the pace. Here we go, Chad Hertenstein taking the lead here. As we start clipping away laps here tonight, get a good green flag run here, hopefully. 20 cars. Well, I'm not quite sure why, but they're trying to make it 4 wide for about 18th place there. Settle it down a little bit, but why in the world would you try to be fighting 4 wide for not even the lead at that point? That's like just a terrible race-making moves for the most part. They're settled down 2 by 2 all the way from the front to the back of the top 20 there. We're going to go ahead and DQ the 71 of Rich Roy. Unfortunately not meeting adequate race pace there. We might have to do the same to the 15 of Tristan Reams, unfortunately not much faster either. Rich Roy was a lot slower though. If we can see them in the same shot on that camera angle, then we'll go ahead and DQ the 15 as well. So yeah, we've hosted a race here since 2010 all the way through 2025. We've had multiple, we had a couple years where we had doubles at this race. We've had 21 different winners in the 24 races that we've hosted here. And amongst those, some drivers in the field here tonight with race wins. You've got Jacob Shangle. You've got Monty Shangle. You've also got Tyler Shangle. Lucas Holmes and Braden Varga, all of which have gotten wins here at Talladega already throughout the first 24 races that we've hosted here. Tonight marks the 25th running of this race. Distances all kind of varied a little bit, but for the most part, we've kind of stuck to the 534-mile distance. We've been hosting it as the Grandpa Dusty Memorial each year. And so it's been an honorable race to pay tribute to Grandpa Dusty at Talladega here. 4 wide. We definitely got some Shangle representation in the field here to try and bring it home for Grandpa Dusty. Cares in the picture. Lucas Holmes up front leading, so Lucas Holmes wants to prove that it's no fluke. It is seemingly showing that if you've had a win here that you've got some form of experience at Talladega. And so with Lucas Holmes, Braden Varga, Tyler Shangle unfortunately a little bit beaten up here, but he was up front fighting for the win. Jacob and Monty as well, both very much in the mix here tonight. Have to DQ the 15 of Tristan Reams, unfortunately. That'll bring us to just 27 cars left running. The final 4 there, they could maybe kind of stay in the mix if we get some long green flag runs and comp caution to save them. But for the most part, the slowest of traffic has been sent home, sent packing. Carson Bowers leads the way. Nelson Chacon gets in there 3 wide with Cooper Dwight coming to the low side. He wants to join his teammate there up the front of the field. And like I said, pole position here tonight is pretty much meaningless. Only one winner, and that was back in 2020 when, for whatever reason, Fernando Alonso got the win. Average lead change is 79. 79 lead changes is pretty average here. Oh, hard wreck there involving quite a few heavy hitters. It looked like Kara Shangle, Preston Kundo, and a lot of drivers that should have been in the mix for the win here tonight. Tough wreck. They're racing back to the start-finish line here, and we'll dig into the replay on that one. Ouch. Yeah, that takes a big chunk out of the field there. Ah, man, the 16 for Monty is going to be out of the race as well. That was just a weird wreck. Weird place for it to happen. And it just kind of like reached out and grabbed him there out of nowhere. 4 wide up at the front half there. Oh, that was all on Al Bunch, I feel like. Was it on Al Bunch? He'd been able to survive all the chaos today until that point. He gets bumped into here by the 77 of Preston Kundo. And into the wall they go. Chad Hertenstein gets a hard lick there. 77 of Preston Kundo. Kara Shangle, Monty Shangle, And even Alex Crowther gets involved in the wreck there. Plenty of heavy hitters involved in the wreck here tonight. That's going to diminish the field even greater here tonight. It'll find you anywhere on the racetrack, no matter where you are here at Talladega. Doesn't matter if you're running up front, running the mid-pack, running at the front half or the back half of the front pack. Just a hard place to bring it home. Amazingly enough for Chad Hertenstein, I don't know if there's enough damage on that car to really phase him here, so we'll see how he recovers from that. And Al Bunch, definitely, he's going to be out for the count. Monty, and a couple more likely to be retired after that one. Well, Liz gets waved around back onto the lead lap here. Cooper Dwight will be your race leader for the restart, it looks like. Braden Varga in second, the defending race winner from Talladega last year. Jonah Burridge in third, Carson Bowers in fourth, Jacob Shangle in fifth. Then you have Brian DeBlanc, Bradley Ream, Brandon Butler the second, Wyatt Wilkinson, Gannon Bird, Taden Berggren, Finley Herwig just trying to soldier on for a good finish here tonight. Tom Cording, Tyler Shangle, Lucas Holmes, Ralph Oberstadt still alive for the drive. Tyler Aspinall, Trevor Walker, Lynn Farrell, Fireball Robert, and even Chad Hertenstein there. Kind of interesting to look at the retirements. It's claiming that the end of the day came for the 16 of Monty Shangle on a punctured radiator. Al Bunch simply retired. Preston Kundo accident. Kara Shangle accident. 67 retired. That's Alex Crowther. And a clutch failure for 37 of Nelson Chacon. And this clutch failure comes after the caution. So another strange mechanical failure here. As they get caught up to the pace car there. Nelson just kind of minding his business. Had a top 10 run going here tonight. Blows her up. Clutch failure. Surprised that's not one of those things you can just fix on the race car. Clutch linkage or something that you can just go grab another part and get it fixed, but that's a retirement. Tough break for Nelson. Another terrible finish. He's going to be just a little bit better than his other best finish of the year at a 28th, now a 23rd here tonight at Talladega. 22 cars remain on the racetrack. We'll get doubled up for the restart here. Liz gets her lucky dog. And it's going to be hard to tell. I think we're going to be down to about 12 cars left in the lead draft here. Just shy of halfway. Well, we're definitely far from halfway still. But the smaller the field gets, the more likely we'll be getting green flag runs without too many more big wrecks. This might be where we actually get to flex our long green flag power here tonight with the greatly diminished field of cars. No matter what, if you're still alive, you might have a chance to fight for a win here tonight. It doesn't matter what your car looks like. If you get lucky, you could somehow still find a way to win this race. Sometimes the last wreck doesn't happen until the last laps of the race. And if you're up there and you just get lucky, get a lucky break, drive around the right guys at the right time, you could get the win here tonight at Talladega. We're back to green. It's been a uphill climb for everyone getting back and rolling. So with the initial delay for today's race, I'm thinking I am probably going to cease and desist on any doubleheader action. We'll try it maybe for Saturday morning with the Bridge to Cup stuff. But we'll get through the completion of the Cup race here tonight to full distance, 188 laps of the Dusty Shangle Memorial. Braden Varga is going to lead a lap here. Varga came home with a win earlier this season at Bristol, and it's been one of those strange years for him too. He's been trying to figure out what's wrong, getting that car back in winning contention after losing his spot on a cozy team such as Cording Brothers Motorsports. He had to go out and open his own team up this year. Tom Cording on the inside there. There's no love lost between those two. They are not best of friends after the departure between the teams. And so Varga, it's crazy as it is, he's paying the ultimate price by having to open up his own team. And I think he's getting it figured out. He's starting to get, the ball rolling. It just took a little bit longer than what you would have expected from a guy that was fighting for the championship last year. So just like this, even your cars that are damaged, they're still very much within the lead picture here. As long as they're not a rolling roadblock of under 5 seconds slower than the rest of the field, they will avoid getting disqualified here today. And we'll let the leaders, handle them as they would anyone else that's running a regular race pace going a lap down. Seems like with Liz Shangle, that 50 machine still not 100% right, even after getting the fuel system fixed. She's up to 18th, but not within the lead group. Your lead draft is about 13 cars strong, with the potential for 16 if they get up there back with the leaders. We've already surpassed our average DNF count here tonight of 18. Actually, we might be sitting almost perfectly at DNF 18 land. 22 to be exact. So 22 drivers did not finish, and that could grow as the night goes on here. But we're going to kind of lay down on the disqualifications, let them race it out. Lap traffic, they'll be they've got immunity for the rest of the night. We'll give it to them. But the highest DNF count at Talladega came back in the second race in 2018 and the standalone in 2019, where we had 29 DNFs in both of those races. Hasn't been quite that violent lately, but for real though, it was those could be the numbers if we get more here tonight that we'll be closing in on. Talladega, it seems to be a track that actually favors those that do qualify terribly, as we've had at least 6, and I'm not counting every race, but at least 6 races where the driver started deeper than 38th in the field. Jay Bartunek had started 43rd to win it in 2013. Emily Bowes started 42nd to win it in 2016. Hunter Shea started 42nd in 2021 to win it. Jun Sanu, one of the guys that's won it twice, he started 39th to win it. Jacob Roloff started 39th to win it in 2018. And Vanessa Montano started 38th to win it in 2011. So why is this significant? Let's go ahead and take a quick gander at our qualifying order here, as I'm going to take a brief pause to record the distance of the race so far. So race 16, part 1, record, save. So as that's significant here tonight, we still have Cooper Dwight in the mix, who qualified 43rd. But other than that, everyone else looks like they've pretty much all been involved in a wreck. Braden Varga on the flip side, though, 39th. That is kind of in line with the stats that we were pulling up there. So do not count out Braden Varga, especially with those numbers. The numbers, they don't lie for whatever reason. And it's not like you can just say, oh yeah, there's one spot on the racetrack. If you qualify there, you're destined to win it. That ain't accurate either, because obviously a lot has to happen from the start to the checkered flag. But man, if those numbers start adding up, you're going to start creating a conspiracy theorist out of some folks. Braden Varga with the fastest lap so far, leading the race, leading laps, staying out of trouble. You might just start having an average of where the driver started to win the race, and it might look like about 30th place average finish from the deepest starter. Yeah, so I did some number crunching. The average starting position of a race winner here at Talladega is actually 23rd. So anywhere deeper than 23rd, you're in a good position to win this race for whatever reason. Only one winner of Fernando Alonso. We've only had 3 winners within the top 10, and the rest have started 20th or worse for the most part. But the record set by Jay Bartunek back in 2013 of qualifying 43rd to win it is safe here tonight, as the drivers that qualified deeper than that, 44th and 45th, are not in the mix anymore. So Jacob Shangle in the 60 machine could potentially go for the first ever driver to win 3 races at Talladega. He's staying alive in the midst of the lead pack here, fighting with the likes of Wyatt Wilkinson, Brandon Butler II, and even Tom Cording. Brian DeBlanc trying to assert himself at the front of the field, fighting for a win here tonight. Aw, man, a blown engine by the 39 of Wyatt Wilkinson. Wow. Weird mechanical failure out of nowhere. Blown engine for the 39. Wyatt Wilkinson had a good run going here tonight. Yeah, we're down to 21 of the cars left running. Another clutch failure, back-to-back clutch failures here tonight. Well, they've caught up to some lap traffic here. That's the 95 of James Fireball Robert. They're going to work their way around him here, heading towards lap 72. 42 of Brandon Butler II gets a pretty big gap there up at the lead. But we're getting strung out now, and it's getting a nice long green flag run under our belts. Lap traffic is going to be a factor here for a while. We'll let them merge and deal with them as they would anyone else. No disqualifications. But even then, that could still, put us in that gray area where another wreck could happen. Just play-by-play basis at this point. Brandon Butler II, he got up to the points lead earlier this year and lost it at Moses Lake Motorplex, unfortunately. But Butler and his teammate Taden definitely the 2 stars of the show here in 2026. Maybe we can actually get a comp caution in tonight without it being a for-cause caution with a wreck on the racetrack. Once we get those green flag pit stops and everyone shuffles through, we'll throw the comp caution to get them all stacked back up. They might be spread out right now, but they'll have a chance to get stacked back up again. We'll give as many wave rounds as we can to get them all back on the lead lap as well. Try to avoid any dilemmas involved with lap traffic. But it's definitely turning into a survival of the fittest kind of race here tonight. If you're going to be getting the win, you got to be able to avoid blowing up the engine. You got to stay out of trouble, not getting a wreck. And even like right here, going a lap down might not be the end of the world, but it's definitely going to slow your advance for a little while. Look at that. With the lead draft, they don't look half bad. Once they keep making changes, keep making fixes on the car, they could be fighting for the race win here tonight, even after being involved in multiple wrecks. So not sitting ducks like most of the lap traffic here. The 3 of Ralph Oberstadt and the 21 of Chad Hertenstein actually holding the leaders at bay. Look at that, the 78 of Bradley Ream. Oh, was almost going to make it 3 wide, but Cooper Dwight gets around the 21 machine there. So yeah, that could be, could still be a car capable of fighting for the win here tonight. Those two seem to have it when they get in the lead draft at least. Well, as we are nearing halfway here tonight, this long green flag push from your leaders. The fuel windows, I think, are going to start opening up around lap 88 and on. And so by then we might get our first comp caution with green flag pit stops along the horizon here. 60 machine there of Jacob Schengel's going to get to the front, lead some laps, it looks like. Led most. It might be easier to look at here now that things are slowing down a little bit. Looks like Brandon Butler the second with 12. Great night for him so far as he's still up there fighting for the win. 10 laps led by Cooper Dwight. 7 laps led by Braden Varga. 9 laps led by Tom Cording. Jacob Schenkel with 5. So all these drivers still very much in the mix. 21 cars left running of the 45, so we just dipped below the half mid-pack. Half the field, more than half the field now, eliminated from the race. Tough break for Wyatt Wilkinson and Nelson Chacon, both a clutch failure. Engine clutch. And then all the other drivers behind that involved in some big, gnarly wrecks here tonight. Al Bunch looked like he was going to try to be Superman and avoid all the wrecks, but in the end, he was not able to avoid that last one. So, impressively enough, these drivers in the top 6 group, most of which are in the points conversation this season. You've got the 42 of Brandon Butler, the second in the points. 78 of Bradley Ream, who sits 4th in the points. Here we have our pit stops happening right now. Whoa, going all alone. Brandon Butler, the second. Which that is why we throw the comp cautions here, because the AI makes some very, very bad calls. I don't think you would have gone in there all alone, because that means you're going to come out with no drafting partner. So the comp caution will be thrown once every one of the lead cars pits here. Wave rounds to follow and all the fun stuff. We'll keep an eye on the leader each lap here and keep it rolling until it's cycled all the way around. More takers this time. The 78 and the 30 decide to pit. That leaves the 12 with Bowers and the 60 with Jacob Schenkel out. Cooper Dwight as well. His teammate leads the race. But those 3 kind of separated, building a gap there over the 41. Alrighty, 2 more takers, 3 more, and mostly everyone else. Braden Varga and Lucas Holmes, last 2 race winners here at Talladega. I think it's going to cycle around to Lynn Farrell. Alrighty, comp caution here at lap 84. That'll leave us with 104 laps left to go. We'll get them all stacked back up. We'll do a quickie caution because everyone pitted. This is not a caution for cause, so we'll drop the pace laps by 2. That way we can get back and rolling sooner. Wave rounds are going to be credited to a couple drivers here. The 3 and the 21 will get the wave around. We'll wait till they get caught up to the pace car here to give the wave rounds. that worked. Just cut the stream down both sides, go high and low. And for your leaders, it seems like half the field deciding to pit here, although it doesn't really make much of a difference. If we're going to get long green flag runs here tonight, we're going to get more comp cautions to help stack things back up. So just get that extra, I guess, advantage during the short burst. Never hurts getting some fresh tires and a fuller tank of gas so you can stretch it a little bit longer than the rest. Carson Bowers is your race leader, followed by Bradley Ream, Brandon Butler II, Lucas Holmes, Braden Varga, and Brian DeBlanc. Coming out from the pits in 7th, that's going to be Tom Cording, Jacob Shangle 8th, Cooper Dwight 9th, Tyler Aspinall, Trevor Walker, Lynn Farrell, Finley Herwig, Liz Shangle, Gannon Bird, Jonah Burridge, and Tayden Berggren. Tyler Shangle on pit road coming out. Looks like Chad Hertenstein and Ralph Oberstadt taking a quick gas and go to get back out there. They better get back out there quickly, or else the pace car's already getting ready to double them up on the backstretch. So the quickie caution kind of backfired here because the AI are still doing dumb shit. Should, for the most part, not work out too bad because they'll be run like Stripe D and you're D and you're they're not going to be with the lead draft by any means, but they'll be able to avoid going a lap down too quickly here. We'll do a little better on the later restarts here tonight. If they can stay on the lead lap, then they don't have much to worry about. Uh-oh, 78 making a late race stop there. Don't know what that was all about. Didn't say what was wrong with the 78 machine. Well, from this restart, it looks like Liz having a little bit more of a closer restart to the lead group here. Still not with the lead draft, unfortunately, so she's losing a little bit of ground. Even some of the cleaner cars just not really right in the mix here tonight. Well, we're down to 100 laps to go here from Talladega. Well, getting into the mix now, that's the 22 of Trevor Walker and the 6 of Jonah Burridge. As we've got about 12 cars strong in the lead pack. Lucas Holmes leads the way, but Jacob wants to take it away from him 3 by 3. They roll into turn 1 here. .60 machine up there leading some more laps again. The 12 of Carson Bowers joining the party. And how about that? With the restart, the 6 of Jonah Burridge wanting to fight for some laps led here now. We haven't seen that 6 machine fighting for the lead yet. Now here he is, showing up as we roll towards halfway. He's going to do more than just show up. He's going to try to lead some laps here. The 6, I think, leading at the line there. If not, the 12 definitely had the edge. Nah, the 6 got the lap led. So Jonah Burridge, a rookie in the series, an ARCA standout from the last season of ARCA racing, getting some one-off starts here in the Cup side. Leads a lap here tonight at Talladega. With that, you've got about a 14-car front field here now fighting for the win. Still in the mix, you've got the likes of Tyler Aspinall and even Lynn Farrell. And Finley Herwig, even with the damage on that machine, it's still holding tight with the leaders there. Gannon Bird and Liz Shangle off the draft. Taden Bergeron and Tyler Shangle off the draft. Bradley Ream, 21st, 1 lap down. Chad Hertenstein and Fireball Robert along with Ralph Oberstadt. They might be 3 seconds off the pace, but if they were to get in with the lead draft, who knows what could happen. Now they're getting a little bit more rambunctious again at the lead field here. Hopefully it doesn't turn into more wrecks, but 12 cars strong at the lead group. Alrighty, halfway now, 94 laps in, 94 laps to go. It's been a full 1 hour, 30 minutes to get to this point, so tracking in the direction of just under 3 hours the distance, but now that we're getting some green flag runs in, I don't know if we're going to have too much troubles getting through the second half now. Might be able to start racking up the laps and closing this thing down sooner than that. Tom Cording's going to lead that lap in the Cadillac. A couple Chevys surrounding him there. A Ford and a Genesis. A couple Genesises actually, with a Chevy and a Dodge and even a Honda in the mix there. Attempt to go 3 wide for the lead, but it settles down into 2 wide as Brian DeBlanc taking on Tom Cording for the top spot. Well, the lead keeps swapping hands as is customary here at Talladega. Laps led looks something like this. Currently, your lead most belongs to the 42, Brandon Butler the second, with 14 laps led here today. 12 laps led by Tom Cording. 11 laps led by Cooper Dwight. 9 laps led by Braden Varga. Varga looking to try and back it up with another win here. Become the 4th driver with 2 wins at Talladega. The only difference would be he could be the first ever driver to do it in back-to-back starts at Talladega. That's never happened before. And who knows, this could very well be that pivotal moment in a season for some of these drivers, you know, making the most of a, you know, bad start to the season. No! 41 blows up and then gets into the 85 of Brian DeBlanc. It is turning into a grueling mechanical failure night now. The 41. Cooper Dwight, race winner at Daytona. He ain't going to be the winner here tonight. Had a blown engine there. And that brings out no caution. It stays green. Amazingly enough, no caution from that. As it actually kind of separated this lead group into two groups. Brian DeBlanc just had nothing else he could have done there. Yeah, as you see here, hard left hook from the 41 there into the 85. Crazy how it's a common cast of characters at the end of these Talladega races. Drivers that have won here before, drivers that know how to get it done and survive. It just shows you that you've won here before. You know how to survive the chaos, to stay out of trouble. It kind of comes with the territory, and these are some of your drivers that have been in this territory time and time again. Would actually be kind of fun to look at as past race results and see if a lot of these drivers were there at the end of those races. Obviously, we can say that for the race winners in particular. Tom Cording's been at the finish of this race multiple times. He was 6th last year. He's in the front of the field here again with potential for another top 10 finish. Brian DeBlanc had a top 10 last year, a 9th place. However, he finished 4 laps down at the end of that one. Let's go back another year to 2024 and see. That was the season that Lucas Holmes won it. Al Bunch, unfortunately not in it here tonight, but he was able to get a top 5 in his both starts at Talladega last 2 years. Not this year though. Interesting. Brian DeBlanc and Jacob Shangle were also in the mix there at the end of 2024. Kara Shangle was there though too. Braden Varga 15th, 1 lap down. So seems like you gotta, certain horses for certain courses. Definitely our Talladega stars rising to the top, fighting for the win here. 86 laps left to go. Kind of feel like the flagman just kind of let that one go. He's like, man, we've been throwing the caution too much here tonight. Let's sit on this one and let the 41 car just teleport back to pit lane. More than likely, we're going to stretch this out for the next long green flag run for more green flag pit stops here tonight. Leading the way right now, that's the 6 of Jonah Burridge over the 60 of Jacob Shangle and the 26 of Lucas Holmes. They're going to try to make it 3 wide heading into turn 1 here. Turn 3 here. I'm getting a little bit drowsy, a little bit sleepy. Exiting turn 4 now, so we're in the right spot. Bradley Ream about to go a lap down. Yet again, the field separated by things not really of their doing. And they're going to be hoping for that comp caution to come again to get them stacked back up. But in the meanwhile, it's about a 7-car fight at the front. Oh, something going wrong with the 22 machine. Trevor Walker drops off the pace there. Flat tire from the 22. The 41 is credited with an accident. We don't know what the true retirement was. It could have been another clutch failure for all we know. But the 22 gets a flat tire running in 6th place. He's going to come down pit road and get a repair, get a new tire. And now it's broke up that field yet again. We only have 4 cars at the lead, broken away from the rest of the field. Alrighty, 80 laps left to go. I think if we're able to pit now, you can break it down the middle with 40 laps apiece for the most part, but they're already about halfway through this run, so it's not going to be a perfect scenario on the pit window. unfortunately. Tom Cording is fairly deep in the points this season already. '18th, which is not terrible, but not stellar at the moment either. He has had a 6th at Armory Digital Super Speedway, a 4th at Atlanta, a 5th at Texas, and those are his best finishes so far. So 3 top 10 finishes with 2 top 5s to boot. The rest of the season has been pretty mixed and scattered. He had a 10th at Evergreen last race. He missed. Oh, we haven't scored Moses Lake yet on the website, so that's why it didn't show Moses Lake Motorplex yet. Which I'll actually have to add that to the points program, since I've never actually hosted a points paying race yet, which that'll be cool, having my track all official locked into the points program that scores all the races up. 0.89 mile tri-oval based in Moses Lake, Washington. Well, dealing with some more lap traffic here. They're going to work their way around it pretty quickly. Tyler's going to block the run by the 78. Bradley Reeves a lap down too, so this is all with lap traffic. If they got the shot here tonight, they could still be in the mix for the win. And already your round of pit stops starting again here with 75 laps to go. Almost a perfect window, because this would be, like I was saying, break it down the middle, 2 stints of 40. Lucas Holmes is going to stretch it a little bit longer here. Looks like Lynn Farrell's going to stay out a little bit longer, so we're going to keep cycling until everyone has pitted. But your new leader will be the 69 of Lynn Farrell during the green flag transition of pit stops here. Chad Hertenstein's going to stay out, it looks like, moving himself up to 2nd. Must be a lap down. Okay, yeah, he's a lap down at the moment. Well, Lynn Farrell making his pit stop, so I think that gets everyone cycled through their pit stops here. Alrighty, it is time for comp caution to drop once again here tonight. Looks like Braden Varga will cycle them back around here under caution. We'll only drop 1 pace lap this time so we don't get too pace, not yellow. Look at that. Tom Cording gets by the 9 of Braden Varga, heading towards the yellow flag there, bringing him back under pace car speed. Brandon Butler, Taden Berger is going to have to get the wave around here. So it's going to be a mixed bag once again. 4 pit stops, it looks like. Some folks deciding to stay out while others decide to pit here with 71 laps to go. Tom Cording will stay out with the 26 of Lucas Holmes, the 60 of Jacob Shangle, and the 6 of Jonah Burridge, the 69 of Lynn Farrell, and the 85 of Brian DeBlanc. On pit road, you got Brandon Butler the 2nd. Gannon Bird's going to cycle around to 7th there. Well, all those that pitted give him about 7 spots. It looks like Braden Varga comes out 8th. 9th, it's Carson Bowers. 10th, Brandon Butler the 2nd. 11th, Tyler Aspinall. 12th, Trevor Walker. 13th, Finley Herwig, Liz Shangle. 14th, Taden Berger now making his pit stop. He'll come out 15th. Tyler Shangle in 16th. He's just trying to struggle home to the finish here. Ralph Oberstadt back on the lead lap here. He's likely going to make his pit stop once he gets back around to the back of the field here. Alrighty, getting doubled up for the restart here tonight with 69 laps left to go in the Dusty Shangle Memorial. This might be probably the most stacked restart, so we'll see if anyone else can stay with your leaders here. Seems like every restart we have something weird happen that kind of breaks up the draft. Hopefully we can keep the draft together and have about whatever we've got left here, about 19 cars fighting for the win, hopefully. Six has kind of found himself in a good spot now, fighting for the win, along with the 69 of Lynn Farrell right there in the picture. Some of these cars a little bit beat up, a little bit rougher than they should be. That doesn't mean they can't get in the draft and dance with the leaders. Probably the biggest hurt car out there has got to be that 7, Tyler Shangle, who's just trying to soldier it home at this point. Once you get up to this lead draft, it's like a fresh breath of fresh air. Once you get it, it's hard to get into it, but once you're there, you're there. Man, they are starting to establish already a bit of a breakaway. Finlay Herwig, though, with the damage on his car, still in the mix. Liz Shangle starting to close in on the lead group now. She hasn't been in the mix for quite some time, but now maybe starting to get things sorted out and figured that she can fight for the win tonight. Honestly, we're just about one more big wreck away from the likes of Liz Shangle, Ralph Oberstadt, and even Finlay Herwig being in the mix for a win here tonight. You never know what could happen, so you're not out until it's over. Got 20 cars left running here tonight, where we once had 45. It looks like the 5-car group just not able to really stay up there with the 15-car group. But Liz Shangle definitely turning it around here after her fuel issue earlier in the race. Put her a lap down. Actually, it put her 2 laps down. She was able to bounce back from 2 laps down in the race to fighting up front here again. Now that 5-car group in the background, they may be the little engine that could if these other cars get in a wreck again. They are not out. They'll be just staying in the back, trying to avoid any more wrecks that could happen here tonight as we get down to the last quarter of the race. When we get down to 47 laps, that'll be the last quarter altogether. I guess now could be a time where we start looking at potential first-time winners in Sigma Cup Series. So first and foremost, Jonah Burridge, the ARC regular, making his step up into Cup on a part-time basis this year. He would be seeking race win number 1 in Cup, no doubt about it. He's having a good night here. Could he get the job done? Also, you've got Trevor Walker, who has racked up a lot of wins in the USA Trucks. He is, however, never won in the Cup Series, even though he's more of a full-time veteran of the Cup side of things. He too would be searching for race win number 1 here tonight in Talladega. And then you've got Lynn Farrell, the 69 machine. He's had so many opportunities to get a good win under his belt, but it just has not panned out yet. He's in the Pizza Racer mobile for Tyler Shangle Racing, the Dodge Charger there. Could he get the job done here tonight? As the deck's been stacked against him multiple times, it seems like he's figuring it out and getting to the front when it matters the most. Then you got Gannon Bird in 15th there. Winner in the Truck Series, I want to say, but never a Cup winner. So he's got his work cut out for him as well. He's back out of the lead draft at the moment. Chad Hertenstein will be looking for race win number 1, and Ralph Oberstadt as well, seeking race win number 1 in Cup. Mid-pack at the moment, 20th here tonight. Could be worse. Could be much worse. close to a wreck there at the lead. They got really tight there, but did not wreck. That could have been bad. I guarantee you there's about 5 cars in the back there wishing that these 15 would wreck up front and they could fight it out. The 5 cars without much left in the tank fighting for the win, that'd be pretty wild. Well, the front of the field definitely driving like another wreck could be waiting around the corner here. You got 10 cars strong with 49 laps to go, which is still a lot more than I would have given this race credit for the way it started. We were looking like we're just going to knock everyone out of the race here tonight. To have your top 10 still very much able to, fight for the win is pretty impressive. Lately, it seems like the longer the race has gone on, the more mechanical failures have reared its ugly head here tonight. So, mechanical failures are reigning supreme through the second half of the race, as not as many of them have been involved in wrecks later on. 5 cars still out there, out of this lead 15, or a lot top 10. There's actually 20 still out there. So, 2 sets of 5. You got a 5-car group, and then a third group of 5 as well. Before you get into all the retirements here tonight, but your top 10 still very much alive and well. 48 laps remaining. That 6 of Jonah Burridge racing for Railfan Motorsports. Couple different drivers hopping into the seat of that number 6 machine, but Jonah Burridge definitely has shown the most promise in his select starts so far. Having a good top 10 run here tonight. Comes the 60 of Jacob Shangle to the lead, followed by the 12 of Carson Bowers. Well, this should be the last round of pit stops, roughly. Alrighty, it looks like it's going to cycle back around here. Alrighty, so comp caution once again here with 40 laps to go. As you can see, the reason why we do it, everyone's scattered all throughout the field here tonight. Stayed on the lead lap this time, impressively enough, so it's getting a little bit more spread out. The lead group not able to draft as far away from the rest of the field as they have been all night. Your lap times are kind of equalizing a little bit here, even with your lead group and your slower cars. So this will give them that final window to make that last pit stop. 40 laps to go. I think they're probably going to take every opportunity to pit here. Otherwise, it's going to get pretty tight if you had to go green-white checkers here at Talladega. Alrighty, we're back and rolling here with 38 laps to go. Braden Varga leads them to the restart with Bradley Ream on the outside. Lucas Holmes and Jacob Shangle with Trevor Walker and Jonah Burge in the next row back. Green flag waves, we're back and rolling. Alrighty, getting down to the good stuff here now. 37 laps left to go. like each restart, though, it's about the same. You got about 15 cars capable of staying with the lead draft. And then about 10 laps go, and another 5 fall off, and then it gets down to the final 10 again. Here at the moment, you got easily your top 15 still running solid here. Chad Hertenstein a little bit further back in 15th at the moment. But it's all about making hay early while the getting's good and trying to get up front, fight for the win. Everyone here tonight at this point guaranteed a top 20 no matter what happens. Even if they get in a big pile up right at the the finish. 20th is the worst that they can fall back to at the moment. Going forward for all night, actually, not just at the moment. Battle brewing up here as it's been all night long. Tom Cording going to try to lead the laps, as well as Brandon Butler the second and Jacob Shangle. Led most laps here tonight. Tom Cording at 28, Lucas Holmes at 20, and Braden Varga at 20. Brandon Butler, though, up to 15. He can start racking up those laps led and get in the picture as well. How impressive for Trevor Walker to be in the mix here right at the end. 33 laps to go. That 22 machine looking stout. And they're just not very coordinated here at the front, trying to stick together for that lead draft. The more they kind of shuffle around here, that's causing the 50 machine to lose some more ground. Lou Shangle dropping off the draft pretty quickly there. Well, this might be interesting. The 43 of Taden Bergeron makes a pit stop, but tries to come right back out in front of your race leaders. Tom Cording with Jonah Burge right behind him. Bradley Ream as well. Ream. It's been a while since we've seen him to victory lane. Bradley Ream would definitely take this race in stride. His team running 2-3 right now. Railfan Motorsports. Number 6 machine of Jonah Burge and the 78 of Bradley Ream. That would be a stellar outing to get a 1-2 finish with your team. Well, here comes the 42, Brandon Butler the second. He would love to add some more wins to his tally this year. Already victorious this season. Last month, that 42 machine found victory lane. Where he ended up winning the race at Chicagoland. 3 wide there. Yep, just like that, about 10 more laps down the road here, and we're down to the top 10, fighting for the win. Almost like clockwork. '11th place, Lynn Farrell off the draft. 12th place, Tyler Aspinall, Liz Shangle, and Gannonbird, followed by Chad Hertenstein and Finlay Herwig fighting for 15th there. That is a decent battle for a very high finish here tonight. 15th is still a great finish. Tyler Shangle and Ralph Oberstadt, and 19th and 20th, basically laps down at the moment. 3 wide for the lead. Tom Cording on the low side. In the middle there, you got Carson Bowers and the 26 of Lucas Holmes. Now, of course, there's a couple drivers in the mix here that could get their first career cup win. There's a few more drivers that are looking to get their first win of 2026. Tom Cording, of course, winner in the series before. He's looking for race win number 1 himself in 2026. The 85 of Brian DeBlanc looking for that first win of the season. 12 of Carson Bowers still winless this year, but he had a win last year at Chicagoland. And even the 78 of Bradley Ream looking for his first win of this season. But the big ones obviously being the 6 of Jonah Burge looking for his first career cup win, and the 22 of Trevor Walker also looking for his first career cup win. 26 laps to go. Really turned into a decent race after all the wrecks subsided here. It's a mad dash to the finish now, as they should be good to go on fuel, but we'll see. Some of them may be pushing it a little too hard here. It could be a surprise gas mileage race by the end here, and you never know. It might be the folks at the back who are just trying to soldier home that could steal a win. You never know. 25 laps to go. 42 of Brandon Butler, the second, leads the way over Braden Varga, and Bradley Ream in the picture there as well. Braden Varga with the fastest lap. He's really putting on quite the showing here tonight. Qualified 39th, and he's trying to convert it over to a top finish of the evening. Lap traffic in the mix again. Laps to go. James Fireball Robert now holding up your leaders a little bit. Braden Varga's going to go low. Jonah Burge goes high. Tom Cording goes low. 3 wide for the lead. Actually, Braden Varga's your leader. They were 3 wide for second place. Slicing and dicing, working their way around the lap traffic there. That's going to spread out your lead group a little bit. Switching it up a little bit, they're going to lose some ground to the top 5. For long, though, it looks like they're going to bounce back pretty quickly. The most ground to your leaders there. Tom Cording leads with 22 laps to go. Carson Bowers right there behind him. just black flagging them so that they can serve a quick pass through. It's not a disqualification, but we need as much clean track ahead to keep our leaders from getting all bunched up here. .21 laps to go. Carson Bowers, your race leader, with Bradley Ream right behind him. There we go. They come back out right where they probably should. And battle's getting good up front, though. We got 10 cars in the mix for the win. Some drivers looking to try and be a repeat race winner. Lucas Holmes looking to make it number 2 of his career at Talladega. Braden Varga looking to make it race number 2 of his career at Talladega. And Jacob Schenkel looking to try and become the first ever 3-race winner at Talladega. Got his working here tonight. That 60 machine looks stout. Same thing to the 68 of Finley and the 21 there of Chad Hertenstein. Get the late black flag. No, Butler has to pit here with 20 laps to go. Maybe a bold move by the guy who's been at the points lead here lately, and trying to get off strategy with the leaders to maybe put himself in a better position to fight for the win. Very early, though. There shouldn't be any more pit stops as far as I was concerned. Maybe he had a feeling that the leaders were going to get a little bit rambunctious and wreck up front here. It is looking pretty aggressive. The fight, the battle. Everyone's making some bold moves here, thinking that they're not going to be able to make it to the finish if they're running at this pace. So pit stops happening here with 19 laps to go. The 50 of Tom Cording pulls off just like the 42 of Brandon Butler the second. They're short pitting, definitely right down the middle. Typically their lap times drop to nearly 48 seconds. They're still sitting at a 46.9. So this is much earlier than they should be pitting. Strategy, strategy, strategy. More takers down pit road. Half of your 8 there. Brian DeBlanc, Lucas Holmes, and the like. This mostly just leaves me at a bit of a head scratcher because I don't see why they've been burning that much fuel. Why we'd have to be pitting again with 20 laps to go is beyond me. Could we be subject to the Sigma 600 again this year? We saw at Daytona last year where drivers stayed out and ran out of fuel on the last laps at Daytona and even came down pit road. Here's the funny thing, once they short pit, it might actually work out where we don't have to throw comp caution, because they might all rejoin right about the same spot on the racetrack anyways. It's going to be, yeah, they're going to lose one car. I think the 22 of Trevor Walker might be out of the mix now. But where they cut it down the middle, did the shortstop, they're almost right back with the leaders. There you go. Bradley Ream makes it back out. The one that didn't lose anything was the number 9 of Braden Varga, who left with the pitted with the lead, and comes back out with the lead again. They've caught up to the lap traffic there. Finley Herwig, that's going to slow the pace down a little bit. Bradley Ream and Carson Bowers have lost touch with your lead draft at the moment. Looks like it's going to be about a battle for 5 cars for the win here. Lap traffic is definitely not going to be an easy part of this end of the race. Tom Cording looking low. Jacob Schenkel takes the lead. Braden Varga falls back to 4th. Brian DeBlanc on the move as well. Jonah Bird showing up. Lucas Holmes regaining his draft ability there, as well as the 78 of Bradley Ream and Carson Bowers not too far back. So the big unfortunate losers in the whole transition of things, Brandon Butler the second and Trevor Walker, who have lost the lead draft altogether. 13 laps to go. It's now a battle between 3 of your big dogs. Jacob Schenkel, Brian DeBlanc, and Tom Cording as he's fallen back there. Here comes Jonah Burridge. Lap traffic, we're not going to worry about them now. They were given their freebie, and unfortunately your leaders decided to make another pit stop here tonight. So the bet has been made, and they must lay in it. Jacob goes to the high side. Here's Tyler Schenkel, lap traffic. Man, I wonder if Tyler's going to try to spoil this, because he knows his brother in that 60 machine will tie his race win record tonight with a win. Currently, Tyler has 36 race wins. Jacob has 35, so a win from Jacob puts him at a tie for the winningest driver in Sigma Cup history. And he's going to block the run there by Jacob to try and keep him from going to victory lane here tonight. 3 wide for the lead. It's going to put Braden Varga on the point. Brian DeBlanc is on the outside there trying to defend. He's going to drop back. Braden Varga goes high. He's going to try to get around the 43 here. 43 slowing up the pace. Drivers that are going to run the outside are going to get around the 43 of Taden Bergeron there. Now Braden Varga is a sitting duck as he's built up a huge gap. He's going to have to defend. Be down to about 10 laps to go this time by. Lucas Holmes on the attack there. He's going to go low on Brian DeBlanc. DeBlanc's on the outside. Bradley Ream looking into the picture as well. Tom Cording is definitely not out of it. Laps led again, we'll do one more quick check. 27 laps led by Braden Varga. 33 laps led by Tom Cording. So led most belongs to Tom Cording at the moment. Here comes the 60 machine of Jacob Schenkel. Would be a feel-good story for a Biffle car to win the 16th race of the season. He's the last lone survivor that can get the job done here tonight in the 60 machine. Lucas Holmes Braden Varga, your 2 past winners here at Talladega, running 1-2 with only 9 laps to go. This time by, it's going to be 8 laps to go. Your 2015 champ, Jacob Schenkel, right there on the attack. Gets in alongside Lucas Holmes. Braden Varga, your defending Rookie of the Year champion. Right there on the outside in that white and yellow number 9 machine. But here comes the 60 to the top spot. A little bit of lap traffic ahead still to deal with. And it's an 8-car battle for the win. Even Jonah Burridge still in the mix here, that number 6 machine at the very back. They're going to catch Chad Hertenstein. And it's going to be a big move to get around the 21 here. Jake's going to go high to Blank. Ooh, he's going to get shuffled high there and follow the line. But Chad's slowing up the pace pretty brutally there. But it's not over. We're not throwing anything at the lap traffic, so your leaders are going to catch some more lap traffic here, and it's all a big battle of making the right moves at the right time. 7 laps to go. Like I said, we're not going to try to disqualify any more people here tonight. We might throw the black flag to send them backwards, but in the mix. They got shuffled out. They're still working their way back up there. Even Tom Cording closing that gap again up to the lead group. Back again, working together. Not out until it's over. Brian DeBlank leading here with 6 laps to go. Laps are ticking away. Tick, 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 tick. So even though the continuous streak has come to an end of new winners to start a season, we can still add to that different winners this season altogether. Ryan DeBlank would be another first-time winner. Carson Bowers, Jonah Burridge, Tom Cording, Bradley Ream. Pretty much everyone in this top 8 except for Braden Varga, Lucas Holmes, and Jacob Schenkel, as they would all be adding a second or more to their tally this year. And they're all 8 back together once again. Lap traffic's going to be a bit of a difficulty here as they have caught up to the last 3 cars. Wow, the 60 looks like it's just losing it here. Not really running fast enough to get around everyone as they're just blowing by the 60 of Jacob. Like he's sitting still. But they're catching that lap traffic. This is going to slow everything up. 60 of Jacob's going to go high. He's going to advance. He's got to stay low, though. That's where the slowest car is, on the outside. Get down to the low side. You might have a fighting chance. 4 laps to go. Your leader, Brian DeBlank, followed by Bradley Ream. Braden Varga in 3rd. Lucas Holmes in 4th. 5th place, Tom Cording. And then 6th, it is Jacob Schenkel. 7th, it's Jonah Burridge. With 8th place, Carson Bowers. Here comes the 9 of Braden Varga. On the inside of the 78, making a move there for position. Braden Varga gets himself up to second. We're down to 3 laps left to go. They're doing a great job working their way through the lap traffic here today. Going to show you just how impressive this run is here tonight for everyone involved. Braden Varga's making the move, but he's going to have a lapped car to deal with here pretty quickly as Brian DeBlank. Whoa, what a move by Braden Varga. He actually shuffles up high to get around the lapped car as well. 43 of Taden's going to stay mid-ground there. 3 wide for 3rd place. Here comes Jonah Burridge. Remember, folks, green-white checkers is enabled in case we get a big pileup with this lap traffic here. 3 wide. Oh, make that 4 wide. Coming down the front stretch. Hopefully we don't get another wreck here, but it's looking nasty as your 2 cars driving away at the front right now. They might be sitting ducks if they get too far out ahead. This group of cars is going to be a lot faster in large numbers, but they're just having a hard time getting around the lap traffic is the big problem right now. The 12 of Bowers clears the 43. Braden Varga losing the lead now to Brian DeBlank as they're going to see the white flag this time by. 1 more lap to go. White flag waves, and it's all in the books here tonight. Next flag ends the race. No green-white checkers, no overtimes. Here comes Carson Bowers from absolutely nowhere. Charging all the way through the field here. Carson Bowers wants to try and match his tally from last year to get a win again this year. He's going to blow by Brian DeBlank on the last lap. Come from 3rd to the lead. But Braden Varga may not be done yet. We'll see. The long stretch here that is Talladega. You're not at the start-finish line until you get by the front stretch here. Carson Bowers is going to hold off the 9 of Braden Varga. He's going to get the job done here today, winning the Dusty Shangle Memorial 534 here at Talladega. He keeps Braden Varga at bay. Brian DeBlank brings it home 3rd. 4th place, it's Lucas Holmes. 5th place, Tom Cording. 6th place, Jacob Shangle. 7th place, Bradley Ream. 8th place, Jonah Burridge. 9th place, Brandon Butler the 2nd, and Trevor Walker 10th. Lynn Farrell brings it home 11th. Liz Shangle 12th. But that makes 14 different winners in 16 races this year. Rest of your order as follows throughout the night here. 20 cars finished the race. Ralph Oberstadt, the last car running, in 20th there. Chad Hertenstein, 19th. Tyler Shangle, 18th. Finlay Herwig, 17th. Fireball Robert, 16th. And Taden Bergeron, 15th. Braden Varga comes up close. He had the lead when it mattered the most, but just lost it there by a little bit as the 12 had the momentum. Carson Bowers carried it to get the win. Well, unfortunately, not a Biffle car getting the win here tonight, but still a great feel-good win for Carson Bowers, getting his second career Sigma Cup win here tonight. We saw him win last year at Chicagoland as a part-timer. This year, he is a full-timer and gets another driver in victory lane here for the 2026 season.
Greg, did you have any ignition problems?
And just like that, 14 different winners in the first 16 races. That's pretty darn impressive. Well, folks, that is a wrap here tonight from Talladega for the Dusty Memorial 534. The rest of the races through the month of April and partially through the month of May, it's going to be a little bit more digestible sizes. This was a marquee event here tonight. Not a crown jewel, just one of our kind of our staples that tend to be the longer ones. So to distinguish between the crown jewel events, which are typically pretty long, and the marquee events, it's kind of like just the matter of another tier of you know, being a more prestigious race. This one's just a step below the super prestigious. These are just the more prestigious, or the mildly prestigious races that we run. But yes, we got through it. About 3 hours worth of racing. If only the game didn't crash as many times as it did when we were starting, we could have been done with this about 40 minutes ago. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the broadcast. I am ready to go to sleep. So have a great one, folks. We'll see you on the next stream. This is Jakester signing